So much happens every day in Trump world that we tend to forget what happened yesterday. I think that's the point. For instance, remember back in May when Trump accepted a sparkling new jet from the Emirate of Qatar? Or is it Qatar? You know what? I stayed with Qatar for 75 years. I'm gonna stick with it, Qatar, okay? Anyway, he accepted that jet from Qatar. And it was, for Trump, a pretty sweet deal. We get the jet, the country, then spend $500 million getting it all decked out with the proper communications and security stuff. Then when Trump leaves office, he gets to keep the plane. Like I said, sweet, also outrageous, unprecedented, surely illegal, and if not, it should be, and absolutely understandable in the context of this robber baron president of ours. As Trump described it, this was just Qatar being a good neighbor, doing something out of the goodness of their heart. And now the rest of the story. Just this week, Trump granted the dictatorship of Qatar a NATO-style defense guarantee of a U.S. response if Qatar is attacked. The guarantee reads like this. This is a quote. The United States shall regard any armed attack on the territory, sovereignty, or critical infrastructure of the state of Qatar as a threat to the peace and security of the United States. It goes on. In the event of such an attack, the United States shall take all lawful measures, including diplomatic, economic, and if necessary, military, to defend the interests of the United States and the state of Qatar to restore peace and stability. Unquote. So Trump gets a plane, and Qatar gets the protection of the world's #1 military force for a measly $400 million. What a deal for Qatar. Cuban cigars for everyone. This will probably become a national holiday over in Qatar, known as America Got Played Day. And it's also worth noting that Trump supported a blockade of Qatar back in 2017 for supporting terrorist groups such as the Muslim Brotherhood, Hamas, and some Syrian militias. But of course, that was before Trump got his plane and before the Trump family and their friends started reaping billions of dollars in profits from that part of the world. So the bottom line is this guy who has just committed this country to sending our nation's young men in the military halfway around the world in support of an authoritarian tyrant is at the same time begging for a Nobel Peace Prize. He's already in the Grifters Hall of Fame, but if he could pull this off, it should get him a statue for sure, erected at their Mar-a-Lago meeting place.